What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to The Order. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a full-blown looter shooter, a genre I've long had a deep affection for. How the game allows you to customize and construct your character in their gear is a huge part of what makes any looter shooter tick, and Suicide Squad is no exception to this. I had the opportunity to play the game during its closed alpha, and have seen some of how this works firsthand. And while I can't get into specifics just yet on that particular experience, there is a lot out there publicly that we can break down to help us begin to think about building out our version of Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and the rest of the squad. So let's explore the basics of character builds as we know them in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and see just how much customization to your playstyle there really is. Gear is at the heart of any good looter shooter. Guns, armor, mods, trinkets, you name it. Good gear and the pursuit of it is what drives these kinds of games, and that holds true for Suicide Squad. In establishing your build, understanding your gear and what each item brings to the table, its stats and its perks are important. Each character will deploy 2 firearms, a melee weapon, a grenade, and additional gear mods that affect their defensive shields, traversal ability, and more. Guns come in 6 varieties: pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, and heavy weapons. All guns come with their own unique perks and stats, some of which are tied to a specific weapons manufacturer, such as GCPD Lockup or LexCorp. Players coming from games like Borderlands will recognize this design choice, as individual weapon manufacturers each offer their own specific quirk or characteristic tied to that particular manufacturer, a topic we can dive into more post-launch. Gun perks truly vary in this game, with some weapons having buffs and benefits that affect certain enemy types, which make them particularly useful in specific encounters, or as seen here, buffs to damage against enemies with a specific elemental affliction. More on this in a second. While Suicide Squad is primarily a shooter first and foremost, melee weapons are an important part of your arsenal and a great form of secondary damage. One of their primary functions is in eliminating enemies for shield harvesting, which when successful will restore a portion of your shields depending on the stats on your melee weapon. Melee weapons also come with their own wide variety of buffs and perks, including damage buffs to certain enemy types, shield regeneration, or legendary perks that allow you to send enemies flying into the air. We've even seen details of melee weapons that can generate grenade ammo on certain kills. So if you were constructing a build dependent on a heavy use of grenades, this would be a perfect perk to have. Speaking of which, grenades add to your damage arsenal, complete with their own set of unique stats and characteristics. And as we learned in the second episode of the Suicide Squad Insider series, both grenades and melee weapons can be upgraded to add afflictions or elemental damage to those items. There's a lot to chew on here, but it's easy to see just how you can start to piece together a build out of all of the multitude of gearing options within your weapons. This gun perk we saw earlier with the damage buff to enemies hit with the electrified affliction, now imagine pairing this gun with a grenade that applies and spreads that affliction, with a melee weapon that helps generate grenade ammo. This is the level of gear synergy possible in Suicide Squad, and when coupled with the fact that gear can also be both upgraded and crafted as well, it only represents a tip of the iceberg when it comes to constructing your builds for each character. The other half to this build puzzle lies in your talent trees. While many of the skills and abilities in these trees may evolve after launch and beyond, the general concept we'll discuss here will likely remain the same. This is the epicenter of how you'll define your particular character's playstyle in the game. Each character comes with 3 separate trees to progress down. Each of the 3 trees focuses on a different aspect of that character's overall combat profile, with one focused on buffs to gunplay, one on traversal, and one focusing on unique elements of that particular character, such as melee, grenades, or defensive abilities. All 3 trees contain multiple tiers of skills. Because most tiers contain more than one ability, Additionally, you'll have to select a specific ability in each tier, giving you the opportunity to create specific specializations for that character. You can start to piece together how this all works within the game. Take a character like Deadshot. With his emphasis on long-range weapons, precision kills, and his jetpack traversal system, imagine constructing a build that's centered around his use of sniper rifles, with talent points spent buffing snipers, sniper rifle damage, and increasing his ability to stay in the air and at range longer, with mods and perks that synergize all around this. Or go in the opposite direction with someone like King Shark, constructing a build around shotguns, buffing melee damage, and going all in on close range talents, making him a true upfront tank behemoth. This is all honestly why I'm so excited for Suicide Squad. It's pretty evident that a lot of thought has been put into fleshing out the deeper RPG and gear systems in the game, with synergies, talents, and perks combining to form unique build possibilities for a wide variety of playstyles for each character. Time will tell whether or not the game can match the depth and build complexity of other RPGs, but clearly all the pieces are in place for Suicide Squad to be a top-flight looter-shooter experience. Let me know in the comments below which character you're most excited to see builds for, or simply most excited to get your hands on. If you found this video helpful or insightful at all, be sure to hit it with a like and subscribe to the channel for more gaming coverage and insight. Until next time, have a good one.